All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Coffee Q&A, your daily dose of coffee Q&A here on the OnoCoffee channel. I'm Jay, your host, and we do coffee question and answers and just open discussion about coffee most every Monday through Friday, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. So welcome to the show. If you're just joining for the very first time, glad to have you here. And if you're watching some of the replay, well, hope you enjoy it. So today, got something a little bit different after the weekend. Yesterday, we went out to eat dim sum at a place here in Owings Mills, Maryland, a place called Kent. How are you? Good morning to you. A place called Asian Court. The Asian Court started off as this Asian restaurant doing dim sum in a part of Ellicott, a place called Ellicott City, which is kind of close to where the food market is. We've done a lot of our episodes on the road out there, and they opened recently a location in Owings Mills, Maryland, so our second location. And we went there yesterday. Now, this place, they always have good dim sum. It's very good, very solid. Mom, good morning. The power plant, good morning to you as well. Good morning. Obi-Wan Kenobi, good to see you. Good morning to you. And so they do dim sum. If you're not familiar with dim sum is a Cantonese, Chinese style of eating where you go and you have tea and you sit down and you eat these little tiny dumplings and just little portions of food, and you just kind of eat and eat and eat, and it's just a lovely time. And if you go with friends or family, it's per person, it's relatively cheap. Like I've gone many times with my cousins, and we've eaten a ton of food, and suddenly, how much is it? $20. $20. There may be like 10 of us, and there's $20 each, so it's a good deal. If you go by yourself, then it gets expensive because then you can't. And plus, the nice thing is that when you go with a bunch of people, you're able to order a wide assortment of the items. You get a really a delectable sampling of everything. So it's really a great way to enjoy a meal. Now I know that some of my friends, I find it a little bit odd because I have some friends that, when you're an Asian, growing up an Asian guy, and I think a lot of other people like this, but you go and you have family meals and you share your food, right? Everybody, you order five, let's say there's five of you order 5 dishes, and everybody has a little bit. You share in it, and it's kind of, in some ways it's kind of a free for all, right? There's 2 ways of doing this, right? So I remember going with some of my cigar friends, and I was kind of one of my friends, he's Haitian, right? And so he's very much into the family meal thing, and we were sitting what's going on here, right? Because it was one of those times and I'm sure you might have seen this, or maybe this is what you do. You go with your friends to a Chinese restaurant, let's say, for example, and you're like, I like the pork fried rice, and everybody gets their own pork fried rice. So everybody has a plate of pork fried rice, and I've seen times when people only eat that, and I was like, what are these people doing? Right? The beauty of it is to have taste. Then those that make the crossover into sharing their plates, they take the sharing a little bit too literally, right? Like let's say you have your plate, and you're like, let's say there's enough. Let's say you could portion it evenly. They want to portion it evenly, right? Whereas in traditional family settings, it's kind of a free for all. If you want, let's say there's you get this salt and pepper fried squid, right? And let's say there's 5 of you, and you have enough for 5, right? And let's say there's 25 pieces. Let's just say there's 25 pieces. 25 pieces is so 5 people, everyone gets 5. I've been with friends who are making the crossover, and they're and they want to be concerned about the 5 pieces, right? They're I'll just take this and I'll put it on my plate. But in traditional way of doing, you just eat as you go. You take a little bit, you eat, you take a little bit more if you want. It's not like you have to be so precise in the division. So so if you ever go with people that are more into the family style of eating, just be prepared for that it's kind of going to be a free for all. It's going to be everyone's got to fend for themselves. And the thing is, you can always order more. If we run out of a dish and people want more, we order more of it, right? So let's say, for example, you have the dim sum. The dim sum is now I can't remember what it's called. The shumai. The shumai is basically ground pork in a wrapper with typically salted fish eggs and steamed. So there's 4 in an order typically. And, if there's 5 of you, you're going to order 2. And then, not everyone's going to have it even, but not everybody may want to have it, right? So it's kind of an interesting challenge like that. Paraplan says, Yum Cha is the best. I've not been to Yum Cha yet. Always get chi chong fun with pork floss. Oh, that sounds good. I haven't had that in a long time. Maku's with us. What's going on, Maku? Good to see you. Anton's here. In my family, we usually kind of trade portions of the food to try, but it's also free for all. We just pull out. That's good. It's always good to my family cousins. If you ask, especially my cousins, if you ask, you're gonna miss out. You just gotta get in there with your fork and spoon or your chopstick or whatever. You just got go attack. Especially with my cousin Bob. He was when we were younger, it was he was devouring. Everything's devouring. Dude, you need to slow down. So everyone was always on high alert to eat, because it was if you don't attack your plate, Bob was going to take it all. You're oh my gosh, so terrible. I think Vanessa went, because she was a lot younger than us. I think Vanessa went. She didn't get to eat it all sometimes. Paraplan says Elder always gets best piece or first crack. That you guys have a very good tradition. That's a very good. They don't give me that tradition. Anyway, so we went to this dim sum place yesterday, and I wanted to share with you what is one of my favorite dim sums. And a lot of you may be familiar with what's called the char siu bao. And char siu bao is basically the Chinese-style roasted pork, where they chop it up and they put it into, they wrap it in a floured dough, and they steam it. In the Filipino culture, we call it siopao, but which is the derivative of char siu bao, right? But char siu is the term for the roasted pork. And basically, if you've been to Hong Kong style Cantonese markets or restaurants, you've probably seen the long piece of red looking pork hanging in the window next to the roasted duck and the roasted chicken. They're hanging there, and then you chop it. It's a really delicious, lightly sweet, moderately sweet and tangy, really beautiful. I love it. So you'll chop that up and put it into this bun, and then you'll steam it, which is the char siu bao. That's traditional, but I've eaten it all my life. I'm not a big fan. If I go to a place and they have what's called the baked bao, where they take it, it's a different type of dough. It's more of a brioche style dough, and they wrap it, and then they bake it, and they glaze it after. Oh, man, to me, that's really my favorite one. And one of the absolute best I've ever had is at this relatively new chain. Well, I guess it's not a new chain, but it's the chain part of it is relatively new. There's a chain called Tim Ho Wan. Tim Ho Wan. I will go to Tim Ho Wan, especially when I'm in Manila. There's one at Glorieta 4, and I will just go there. I will go there at opening. I will go there, and I will order 2. Maybe I'll order 2 orders of this baked bao, because what they do, it's really super. It's a nice round ball. They're kind of like Michelin star, kind of like dim sum, but it's very affordable or moderately priced. And it's really the baked part is super thin, and it's got this how on Mexican conchas they have that sugar crust? It's got a very thin sugar crust like that. It's so delicate. And then the sweet meat, succulent meat. Oh my God. It's 3 pieces to an order. I will sometimes just go there, order 2 orders, and then leave. That's it. That's all I want. That's all. It is, to me, some of the very best I've ever had. Now, there's many variations on it, but this place, Asia Court, sells out of theirs very rapidly. The original location in Ellicott City, if you go there and you don't get it by 11:30, they open at 11 o'clock. If you don't get it by 11:15, 11:30, it may be all gone. They don't make a lot of it because the steamed version is more popular, but the baked ones always go fast. And it's I have been there at times when I've missed it, and I've been very upset. I was I drove 45 minutes to get here, and I don't even get the bao. And so when we were there yesterday, they had the bao, and so I thought I'm going to get some to take home because I like to do that, and I thought we'd share it with you today so we could have a look at it. PowerPoint says, when I lived in Singapore, I got Chinese. Oh yeah, man. You know, when I was in Taipei, we would go out. I would go out. I would go because I was all by myself. But you know, I would go out to breakfast. Again, leaving the hotel rubbish. Just go to the find where all the uncles and aunties are eating, right, in the morning, like at 6 in the morning, and it's all crowded. And I would get the youtiao, right, which is if you ever seen the Chinese style French crullers, they look like, well, not French crullers, but they're like they look like churros, Mexican churros, but a little bit. The batter is more. It looks more like a beer batter kind of finish rather than a craggly batter, right? So it's youtiao. It's unlike the churro. It's not sweet. It's very benign. It's very neutral tasting. You get that, and then you wrap it in what do they call that? The flat bread. There's just flat bread, and then you have your like lightly sweet soy milk, warm, and then you can get that bread. Wow, man, I can't remember. It's a bread that they cook on like a plancha type thing, and it kind of puffs a little bit so they can split it and put eggs and cheese and stuff in it. It's really, man, it's really a great way to have bread. I really like that. I really like that too. Peter says, did someone mention? I like the exclamation marks. That's nice. Prabhupada says, but I must say the Southern Indian breakfast. You know, I will need to go explore that. I have not been to India. I don't know much of the differences between the regions because I'm not well versed in Indian cuisine. I know I like a lot of Indian cuisine, and I know that I do like, from my trips to Uganda, I like chapati quite a lot. Like in Uganda, you eat chapati with pretty much everything, whether it's Indian or Ugandan type food or any kind of food. It's like the Indian diaspora in Uganda, or I guess, and also mostly across Africa, it's similar, is so deep and been there so long that chapati is part of like the daily, like, it's like, Kung Pao chicken or General Cho's chicken here in America. It's just part of the American landscape, or part of that nation's landscape. Oh, Pepperland says, I could eat chapati, slather in ghee, and cup of chai. Oh, yeah, that. Oh, 7. Oh, yeah, that sounds delicious. Peter says, I've tried Tim Ho Wan. Did you like Tim Ho Wan, or you did not like it? I really love the bao. The baked bao is, I'll go there. Prabhupada says, Tim Ho is fancy at Yum Cha place. The turnip cake is, I don't think I've tried that turnip. I will remember that for next time. And Peter likes the Din Tai Fung soup dumplings. Yeah. If you're not familiar with the soup dumpling, what's called xiaolong bao, right? Again, bao is the term. You've got your chashu bao, and then you've got your xiaolong bao. Bao is the term for like bun, and the xiaolong bao is basically they have this dumpling, right? That when you have to put it in you want to pick it, you want to be very delicate with it and use your chopsticks and pick it up and put it into your big spoon. And then you want to poke a hole into the dumpling sheath, and then take a little bit of the red vinegar, pour a little bit in there. And you have to be careful why you have to be delicate with it, because the wrapper encapsulates a soup, right? So it's soupy. It's got and you have to be careful, because if it's straight out of the steamer, man, it's blazing hot. So you got to kind of poke it, add a little bit of the sauce, and because it's like so hot. And the worst thing is if you poke it wrong, or you tear it as you're taking it, and you got to eat it when it's hot, because it will come out of the steam basket easier when it's hot. If you wait till it cools, it tears, and then it's just not even as good, because how they get the soup inside the wrappers, that they create basically a gelée, right? Well, actually not a gelée, because it may or not. Well, it depends. They create essentially a gelée, and which makes the liquid hard, and then they wrap it in the wrapper, and then when they steam it, it liquefies, right? So you have to really, if you let it cool down a lot, it will re-solidify. But I've never had that happen because I can't wait that long. Yeah, good morning to you, man. Good morning to you. Peter says, I like it. Oh, Indian food trucks rock. Oh, Indian food rocks. I'm adding words. I can't see, but I can barely see. Paige, good morning to you. How are things? Power Plant says Singapore has 3 large cultures: Southern Chinese, Hakka Teochew, is that right? Southern Indian and Malay. Oh yeah. I haven't been to Singapore really. I've only been to the airport twice and not left the airport. But I did spend a little bit more time in KL the last time I was out there, and I really like that. I'm really interested in the food. Like I'm interested in exploring more of this Malay Peninsula cuisine. Dev, good morning to you. How are things in Honolulu? Power Plant says so you can get legit good. So you can get legit good there from all 3 people. Oh yeah. In Singapore. Oh yeah, it really is. It's really pretty food. Pretty food. The Shalom Bao uses what the French call aspic. Oh, thank you, aspic. Exactly. So many words to forget in a day. Peter says Singapore too expensive. Go to neighboring countries. Ah, okay. Yeah. Malaysia, great place. And Michelle Yeoh's from Malaysia, so it's all good. Empress Jojo. Power Plant's never. I've been to Indonesia and Malaysia for a few weeks both, but Singapore reigns. I would like to go there. I would like to really tour there myself. All right, so let's get to it. So we've got some stuff to eat and brew. So we've got our bao. Now it looks a little bit janky because, well, it is kind of janky. These are baos. These are the baos that I love. And the nice thing, the thing about Asia Court, they do this, whatever bun they're using, their dough, they do a really beautiful dough. Like this is one of the very best. When they have it, it's always consistently very good. But yesterday I was eating these buns, right? And I was like, oh my God. It was even better than I remember, even better than before. Like I ate the full, so one order is 3 buns. Ate the whole bun. I was like, I'm eating the whole bun. I'm eating the whole order. And then I'm going to eat a couple more because you know what? I don't care. Like, I don't care. I was like, this doesn't happen very often, so I'm going to go for it. And then the owner or the one lady that worked, I guess the manager, she realized that I liked it so much. So these 2 are actually part of an order of 3 that evidently, for whatever reason, they kind of collapsed during their baking. So they weren't like beautiful enough for her to sell. So she's like, this is on the house. And I was like, oh, thank you. I'm very, very happy now. Very happy. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to make some tea to go with this because tea is important. So I've got the water boiling. Water's at a rolling boil. So I'm going to take some tea. And today's tea, I got this little bit of a royal loose leaf show, which is a cooked style of pu'er. Pu'er is an aged type of teas that are very, kind of like, teas are all pretty much the same as far as variety. Like they're all pretty much the same, but the way you process it is very different, right? So it says here 195 for 48 minutes. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do Yunnan province in China. And we're just, the thing about this, I just kind of go with it and enjoy the brew. I don't get too crazy about the processing. So I've got a real simple teapot here. And now I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm just going to put some tea here. We have so little in here. I'm just going to put it all. Whatever's in here, we're just going to get rid of. Now, pu'er comes in like this, which is a little bit more simple to use. It also comes in cakes that they aged. Like I've got some that are like from 2010. All right, so we've got to cool down a bit. What I'm going to do is first I'm going to rinse the tea. So I'm just going to wet it a little bit, and then now we're going to rinse it out. Now, this particular tea that's from Royal, this is from an era when my friend Ravi Croson, who now owns Bao Tea in Portland, Oregon, was the guy that was running the program at Royal. They asked him to come to Royal to start their tea program. And I met Ravi probably 2010 we were in Long Beach, California at the World Tea Expo. I was interested in learning, I was trying to understand more about teas. There's a tea show, of course. And so I went to the World Tea Expo and we serendipitously met and became friends. And it's been a good, I've known him since. So it's really a really great guy. If you're ever in Portland, Oregon, Go see Robbie, Bao Tea. Power plant says if the poor doesn't come in a puck, it can be. You're right. That, you know, I'm cheap. And sometimes you're getting like sometimes you have to do it in a way that is more conducive to bar service. That's going to be pretty darn heavy. We're going to have to dilute it a little bit. So one thing you can do, you can dilute it a little bit if it's too strong. I know that if you're very much a purist in tea, you're probably like, you can't dilute it. That's wrong. That's terrible. We're going to cancel you now. Keone's with us. Aloha to you, Keone. How are you doing? Hope I know you've already told me before that you're doing well, but we were thinking about you the other day when the hurricane, the earthquakes were rocking. 7.7, I heard in Myanmar. That's pretty insane. Like, how do you know how heavy was it in Bangkok itself? Powerplant says, never. I've been to Indonesia, Malaysia for a few weeks, but Singapore. Yeah. OnoMedia says, my heart goes out to anyone affected by the earthquake. Oh yeah. So I'm happy to report. I'm happy to report that my friends and we're all okay. Okay, let's try that. So we got pretty deep elixir here. Look at that. That's like blacker than coffee. It's also smelling pretty fierce. Like this is it's a fierce coffee tea, I think. Actually, but even though it's pretty heavily ratioed, it's not bitter. It's very it's kind of sweet. What I need to do is learn more about pu'er, like exactly how I should be doing it. Like I've got like these bricks. Like I've got, let's see, where's that brick that we can look for? I have a bag of coffee, tea. Yeah, like some of the people are like, well, Robbie was telling me that they've got like, people have teas that are, some of the pu'ers are like so highly coveted that they never leave China. Like they won't even sell them to anyone else. And this is not one of those. This was given to me back in 2010. Mountain pu'er. And so they come like this. They come in these like bricks or something like that. And basically they press them into a sheet. And I have opened this one. I've just been sitting here in the dark. 2010 vintage. Maybe we'll open up one day. It's got this kind of aquarium tetra fish food kind of aromatic to it, right? But looks pretty good, right? Looks pretty good. Peter says Singapore's nice, but too modern. I like grungy and raw. Okay, gotcha. I can hear that. Power plant says the true teas must utilize the tea plant. Agreed. Otherwise, they're tisanes, right? Power plant says there are plenty of grungy places there. I lived in Geylang. Oh, in Singapore. There has to be some grunge somewhere. Peter says Yunnan coffee is nice too. Tastes like jackfruit. Oh, interesting. I'll have to ask my friend about that. One of my good friends runs a place called Torch Coffee in Yunnan. Marty Pollock, really great guy. Really, really great guy. He's always like, dude, when are you going to come visit? Come and stay. And I was like, oh, China. I'd like to go do that. If they will give me a visa now. Power plant says if the pour doesn't come in a puck, it can. Oh yeah, I read that already. Peter says I roasted some date seeds today as a coffee substitute. No caffeine, tastes like coffee. Oh, date seeds, really? Do they sell date seeds, or are you just like pitting them and then as you're eating them, you just keep them and then roasting them? That's interesting. All the dates that are consumed in the Middle East and they love coffee, I'm surprised they haven't done that or it hasn't become popular. Power plant says pour is usually best in the 3 to 5 times brew. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Well, I think we're probably close to that. Some people just throw in the first one. Well, I rinsed the first. I rinsed it a little bit and then threw. But I guess we can throw this away. We can throw this away and try again. We have plenty. So I'll let that sit for a few moments. Kiana says, the engineering from modern condos here are amazing. Very little cosmetic damage in my condo. Nothing even fell from the show. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, they do. I didn't think that Bangkok was that prone to earthquakes. Power plant says everything that the earthquake tech in Japan is also pretty fantastic. Yeah, you guys have got those. Well, you guys have a lot to worry about there. All right, so let's go to our bao here. Now, like I said, cosmetically it doesn't look so nice. I put it back in the toaster oven for like 15 minutes before I came on here. So I don't know. I mean, it probably won't perform as well like it is the day after. But see, you can see the filling. Right? And I think this, and the reason I wanted to bring this on here today, and I was going to do coffee, and then I was like, am I really limited by the paradigm of the show, of the title, Coffee Q&A, that it has to always be coffee? Can't we do something else? Because I don't think I enjoy this as much with coffee as I would with tea. So I was like, we're going to just go and do tea today. Instead of the coffee Q&A, it's the coffee T&A. Perhaps that wasn't the right idea. Oh, even a day later, it's still... The chew is still there with the bun, right? The bun has a nice chew. The crumb is nice and sweet. The filling is good. Oh man, like why is it not focusing? I don't know. But very good. It's very good. Oh God. This is why I can't go to this place for dim sum on the regular. Look, I ate a good 4 of these yesterday. I was like, what? My mom was like, 4? I was like, what? Ozempic. It's fine. Peter says, I pitted the dates. It's actually commonly drank in the Middle East. Oh, well, I didn't know that. I didn't see that when I was there. Okay. Tuna says Bangkok isn't prone to earthquake. It's the first in everyone's memory, but they engineered for it. Prevent that. That's a smart way to think about that. Because man, 7.7 is like I was in 1999. I was in Manila. We had 7.2, and man, it happened like at 2 in the morning or 1 in the morning. We were out partying. Drinking, having a great time, and like we're outside, like on the streets, drinking, partying, and like you know, in Asia they have like these, sodium vapor lighting for the street lighting, and my friends were like, "Dude, look, it's earthquake." I was like, "What?" They call it Lindol, right? They're like, "Oh, it's Lindol," and I was like, "Lindol." Like, it's earthquake. And I was like, you kind of see like they could feel it. I couldn't feel anything. Maybe it was like a 4 at the time. But you could see in the sodium vapor lighting that the power lines were just slightly wiggling. And I was like, oh, I don't really feel it, right? Because I've learned that I don't really feel anything 4. I've been on another 4 seismic earthquakes and like, well, I don't feel it. And then it hit, and I was like, oh my God. Like it was rumbling like a freight train. And it was like, since we were on the street, we weren't in a building. You could feel it moving. The ground was moving. And those of you who've been in an earthquake will probably have similar experience. But if you imagine a sine wave, right? That's what the ground felt like, undulating beneath you. You're like, holy God, we're going to die now. Because like electrical transformers start exploding, glass was falling from this. Luckily, we were in a pretty low-rise district, what was called the Malate district back then, or I guess it's still called that now. So it wasn't like we had to worry about in Makati, like big sheets of like plate glass raining down from 30 stories above. But it was instantly sober. Like, oof, we got to get out of here. Should we run? Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Pepper says, love that chassis flavor. Yeah, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. I think it's no, that makes sense. I hadn't even thought about how to recreate it because sometimes you just don't want to make it at home. You just want to go out and eat it because if I made this at home, I can order like 2 orders and maybe have 6 total, right? But if I make it at home, then I'll make 12, right? Because probably the recipe is like 12 or more. And then I got to eat them. It's like you go to Popeyes and you see them, they go, oh, we got the 16 pack and it's cheaper. I was like, I should get it. Harper's asking, have you tried the Sheng Jian Bao? They're like Xiaolong Bao, but fried in the bottom. Oh, yeah. Those are delicious. Think top soup, soft top soup center, crispy. Oh, yeah. Those are good. I love it when they do the crispy in the pan fried like that. So nice. So nice. But that's something I've only had I think I only had that when I was in Manila. Okay, so we're going to bring a little bit more to a boil again, just to reheat it. Michael's with us. Good morning, Michael, man. How are you? Michael, I'm coming to Houston next month. Oh, no, not next month. Yeah, next month. Tomorrow's next month. So, yes, next month I'm going to be in Houston right around the 25th of April for the annual Specialty Coffee Association Conference. So, okay, there we go. Right now, more pour. Man, still super dark. Look at this thing. We just poured it in there. It's super dark already. Just poured it in. It's super dark. Super dark. All right, let's try this. I think after you get after you start your tea, at least the oolong kung fu style, you can just go brew it right away. Just drink. Like the steeping isn't like that long. It says in the bag here 4 to 8 minutes. I think that's just because American audiences are used to having longer steep times, but I think it might be too much, right? I don't know what you guys think. What do you guys think? You guys are probably more technically oriented than I am as far as teas, because I grew up as a Lipton tea guy, so that means bags and just kind of. Peter says, flying over Indonesia a few times, seeing smoke billowing out of volcanic mountains was. So when I used to live in Honolulu, back in the 90s, back then they had the lava flows. The volcanoes are always active, but back then in the 90s, there's this. So in Volcanoes National Park, there is this road that goes through the towns. And then there's a road that goes through the park that they built many in the 70s or whatever it was. In 1988, when I was there, that road was still intact. And there's a town called Kalaupapa that was still there. Is that right? Kalaupapa? Keone will correct me if I'm wrong. And I went to eat at the diner. There was a drive-in, a place to eat, right? In Kalaupapa. And I was like, man, it was great. And in 1986, I think we ate there. By late 1980s, that was wiped out because the lava flows came, covered it all, took out that entire district. Most of the what was called the Chain of Craters Road, wiped it out and cut it off. And there's some pockets where people still lived because their houses weren't, overcome by lava. But on the far side of Chain of Craters Road, during that area, you could drive to the end of it. Hike out maybe 100 yards. It was really close. And the lava flow was right there. You could see the lava flowing. Not like those, you see those National Geographic videos where they're the lava's like this. It's not like that. It's just kind of going. And like, in Hawaii, they've designated like two types of lava. There's a smooth lava, and I think the smooth lava is what they call pahoehoe, right? Whereas the ones that kind of crumble and craggly and get all sharp looking, like when the pahoehoe, the smooth one, when it dries, it looks like smoothened lava, right? But the ones that are all like stone and rough and like it looks like tuber or whatever, those are called right? Type of lava. That's what they call them. I don't know what I guess you just call them craggly and brittle in English. Oh yeah, Kalafai. See, Curie does correct me. Not Kalopapa. Kalopapa, right, is the town in Molokai, and Kalapana. Kalapana is the town that was overcome by lava in the 1980s. Thank you. See, I can't remember everything. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to look here. Tamara Fan says that's why the 5 times brew is the best. Yeah, I like that subsequent brewings. Those were kind of nice. I like that. I learned that years ago. I learned that from this guy who was really into the gong fu style of making like oolongs. I was like, what? You rinse it and then you only like steep it for like a moment. What? And then you do like 5 tastings of it. What? I think it's cool. I should probably do that more. I should do that more. But I'm just normally I get like this. This is my brewer. This is my daily drinking brewer for tea, right? So I have this. It's very like simple and cheap and whatever. It's very nice though. It's very nice. And I'll just put like a teaspoon of the red label, which is that cheap tea from from the United Kingdom that's made in India, and it's a red tea. It's perfectly great. It's perfect great for like just daily drinking, fun drinking. I'll just drink that whenever I feel like tea. Right, because I don't necessarily. I grew up drinking Lipton, right? So I was like, oh, I'm a Lipton guy, but I'm a blue collar kind of guy in many respects. Like I grew up in like simple places. Now, here's something else that I want to ask you, since you'll know the name of this. I don't know the name of this, but this is kind of a rice cake. It's a steamed rice cake that they have, and I kind of kept a little bit for today just to share with you because I can't remember the name, and I don't know if you can see the detail very well, but. You see how it looks from like a bread crumb, like the crumb of like a piece of bread here, so it's kind of intertwined. With this though, but the upper half has these they're like straws, and I don't understand how that happens. I think it's probably maybe the kind of leavening or whatever they mix into the rice flour. But this is basically a rice flour with. I believe it's brown sugar or some kind of molasses they put in to give it. It's a really light and delicate flavor. I think it's when it's fresh. I think it's beautiful. Like I only discovered this recently, and I was like, oh, I love it. Plus the way that it has this straw texture, I just love that texturally. I'm like, oh, that is so nice. If you guys know what the name of this is, I would like to know because I don't know. But I'm going to eat it. So, yeah, it's lightly chewy. It's got a little bit of nuttiness from the molasses, the brown sugar. I think it's great. Like in the Philippines, we make something like this, very similar. I mean, I guess all of Asia does this, right? Because we have rice, we don't have wheat, so we make rice flour, so we must make our baked goods or desserts out of that. So our version of this is called puto. Not like the Mexican version of puto, but the Filipino version of puto. Powerplant says 1988 is the year of the dragon. And Powerplant says also the initial steepings are very strong and acrid. Yes, okay, gotcha. Peter says like a pot sticker or Japanese gyoza. Yes, with the fried on the bottom. Katie says, I just got my issue of Standard magazine. They included 50-gram sample of El Salvador Santa Cristina Farm Hernandez family mix of Bourbon Paca Sachimor, yellow Ikatu. Oh, I've never heard of yellow Ikatu. Catura and all natural process. Oh, that sounds pretty wild. How did it go? Peter says, I pick up volcanic stone that floats over on the beaches here. Oh, is that normal for volcanic stones? I don't know. One time we were there. I don't think it was during that year. It was later. And I was hiking. When you want to go see the lava flows, you go there at night. And you bring good shoes because, like, really, it's pretty craggly and kind of dangerous. And you bring a light because, again, it's very dangerous. And I remember I'm walking out. I'm walking in a direction. We're trying to find the flows. For some reason, I stopped because I was like, I can't really find my way. And I'm looking out, and I don't see anything. Like, it's a new moon, right? So it's pitch black. I don't even see the trail anymore. I'm like, what the? And I tilted the flashlight down so I could catch the trail again. And man, maybe like 10 feet in front of me, the trail ended over a cliff. Like, basically the lava had flowed and had broken off or whatever. And like, it was a drop, and man, I would have just fallen. Like, I was like, holy, it's super. So if you go to the Hawaii or go to any like lava field and you're going to hike, especially at night, because if you go at night to see the flows, it's brilliant. Like, it's amazing. Like, the glow, the orange red glow it's awesome. Like, you're just like, oh God, that's awesome. This is totally worth the effort to come here. I say this maybe because the first time I think I was technically high the very first time because I was with my cousin Bob. Right, because him and I lived there at the time, and he still lives there today. And one of our friends, Mark, came out to visit, and Mark is a pothead. Like, he's a pothead. All he wants to do is smoke pot nonstop. I'm like, dude, you need to slow down. And so we're like, let's go take him to the Big Island. So we went to the Big Island, and all he wants to do is pot. They're like, dude, you need to call your friends here in the Big Island and get some pakalolo for us. Pakalolo is a term in Hawaiian for marijuana. Like, I'm not calling my friend. My friends know that I don't do drugs. I'm not calling anyone to do drugs. Well, through a series of events, we find drugs. Right? We went to this. Those of you guys are from Hawaii. We went to this. I think, not Koa House. There was a restaurant in Hilo that did breakfast, big breakfast, like great breakfast. And we ate this massively ridiculous breakfast. Like, it was out of control. No, not in Hilo. I'm sorry. In Kona. We were in Kona. Out of control. And afterwards, I'm like, we got to go to the bathroom. So they went to the bathroom, and I was just like, I'm just so ill. I'm going to lie down in the grass because I was like, I can't move. I'm lying in the grass, and for whatever reason. And I think this is divine intervention, providence from the Lord up high. I'm lying in the grass, ill. For some reason, I look over to my right in the grass, and I notice there's a little baggie. And, I'm not a Boy Scout. I know what baggies look like, right? So I was like, oh, my. So I just kind of did the whole, like, stretch. Got back in the car. And I was in the back of the car, right? I'm sitting in the back. They rented a Mustang convertible, so I'm sitting in the back. And they're like, dude, we need to get some buds. You want some buds? I was like, yeah. I got your buds, baby. I got your buds. So that night, we're staying at the Volcano Inn at the national park where they have the volcanoes, and we're going down to the flows, and they're like, dude, you should smoke it. You should smoke it. I was like, my first time ever trying marijuana. And I don't know if I was high or not, right? They say when you first do it, you never know if you're really high. But I remember sitting there, it was a new moon. The stars were out. I was like, oh my God, the stars are amazing. It's a beautiful night, perfect weather. The lava flows are amazing. And so I don't know, was it truly amazing, or was it because I was high? I can't tell you the difference because I didn't know the difference. So, thank you. I'm going to use that to go buy some buds. That's very kind. Thank you. I appreciate that. Peter said it's not straws, but honeycomb cross section. Okay. Gotcha. Hyun says every month. And I like it with this brown. Like, don't get me wrong, like, Filipinos, we eat a lot of this puto, right? So puto is basically, it's white, which is great. But this one, I don't know, with a little bit of brown, the nuttiness from the brown sugar. That's quite nice. It's really good. O'Neill says, "Oh, from Houston, thank you. Thank you. Are you coming to Houston, by the way? Are you coming?" Anton says that, O'Neill, I sent you an espresso recipe. Don't mind if you call it silly. Anton says it's only buffering. I don't know. I don't know if I can't. It looks, well, I haven't been looking, but it seems like it's going fairly well today, which is kind of unusual. I'm going to dump that out and get more fresh water. No, I have not reheated the water. Just going to see where it goes. Right, there's our, and it even like what we're on the fourth steeping, it's still very robust in the color. So I don't know, if you want to get utility out of your pour, it's probably a pretty good idea. I was only short buffering, but it's fine. Okay, good. Okay, so the last one. And the nice thing is you can see the bottom here. This one as well. These are, even though this is kind of the muck up of their batch, this is actually well executed. It all comes down to their chef. Like whoever their chef is, like you go to different places, the chefs are good. Sometimes they're not so great. Like we went to this bakery in Boston and I picked this up. It's good. This is better. Like if you ever meet a girl and she's like, hey, what can I do to seduce him? Just tell her, bring these. I'll do anything for you. Look at nice filling. Look at this filling. It's really nice. It's not too chunky. Neil says, my wife has other plans. We're going to Amsterdam. Oh, Amsterdam has good coffee shops with good smoking. Honestly, that's probably the better trip. One of my friends was like, I'm not going. I said, why not? He's like, that's stupid. I was like, I guess you're right. It is kind of, even I think it's a little bit stupid to go. But I really now only go mainly just to go see friends. Just to see friends and catch up with them. That's so nice. Even a day later, reheated in the toaster oven, and now cool from that, I still like it. Dev wants to know what the filling is. The filling is char siu bao, or char siu. Right? So roasted pork. I think someone said plum sauce, right? So plum sauce. Yeah, just basically the char siu, just katsu it, and then so I mean, you can get, dude, you could like walk down the street and get some of this from work, like right? Like there's got to be a bakery. There's a bakery in Chinatown, I'm sure. Like I'd probably go just down to like the Mauna Kea marketplace and like hit some of those shops for lunch. Be like, I mean, you're in a good spot, I think, because Dev works at, of course, if you don't know, Dev works for Elite Coffee. He's their head roaster, and their shop is on Britannia Street, which is right in downtown Honolulu, right in downtown Honolulu, downtown Chinatown. And so this Chinatown district has so much wonderful food. Like, gosh, I wish where I worked had food like that. Like you go to McDonald's if you want, or you could go to, what's it, the Lady and the Pig, or you can go like have pho at 475, or to the different shops in the Mauna Kea market. Like, gosh, there's so much to choose from. Oh. I envy your position there, Dev. I envy it. Essentially, this is baked manapua. That's really what it is, baked manapua. Kiona says that Char Hong Suk on Pauahi Street used to make the best manapua and okole. Oh, I didn't know they called pork hash okole. See, you learned something every day. In my limited understanding of Hawaiian, okole typically means your butt. Dev says that Sing Chung won. I remember you doing a video eating their manapua. Oh yeah. Yeah. Did we release that video? Maybe I did as a short. That's actually part of the video that we shot when I met you the first time when we were there a couple years back. And then we had coffee at that other shop. Man, wow. That coffee really has been that coffee has really been the stagnant point of that entire video. So we went after we were at Ali'i, we went over to visit Fred at downtown, and then we went to the other place. And man, that was some of the worst coffee I've ever had in the industry, and definitely the worst hygiene I've ever seen in a shop. And like it was like foul. I mean, there's no way for me to get around that. Like, and it has held. I have not released that video, or have not completed making the video because I don't know whether to release it or not. Like it's like because I like to show the visits as authentically as I can. But I mean, the coffees were uniformly bad due to poor hygiene. It has been 2.5 years. So, I mean, I would hope that they would have changed it. The owner was like, my friend, my cousin, and my friend and our friend said that he was kind of nervous about us shooting. I didn't notice at the time, and then when I watched the footage over, it was like that, and I'm like, but part of me is as an operator, I'm also like, if you're, to my mind, a guy walking in from YouTube, a YouTuber, or any guy walking with a camera, seeing the condition, the cleanliness of your shop is secondary to like, in my mind, is secondary. Like I'm less concerned about some random YouTuber walking into my shop and seeing that it's dirty than I would be my daily guests. Like I would be horrified. Like as an operator, I would be horrified to have my shop look like this that did. And I was like, I mean, and we have these Yama towers for making cold brew. I've used them for like, over the last 15 years I've had them. So these are devices that I'm very, very familiar with. We use them nonstop. And to see the condition, like there's a spiral tube that if you let it get, if you don't clean it right away, there's a little bit of buildup, and then you can clean that. But to see the buildup in this thing, like it was like, I think the entire spiral had like crusted brown stuff in it. And I was like, I don't even know, as an operator that uses this machine, I don't even know how you could get to that point. Like, I'm just like, oh my God. Like, and then you taste the coffee and it was really foul. It was just bad. So bad. So bad. Peter says, I like fool places. Sounds like an adventure. Okay, now are we talking about fool as in like the actual breakfast, Middle Eastern breakfast fool, or are we talking about food? Or were you meant to say food? Just to clarify, because I'm actually game for both. I wouldn't mind finding some fool for the morning here where I live. Be like, a place for fool would be very nice. I'll put some spices on it, a little bit of chopped onions. All right, well, I've eaten all of the baked bao, the baked manapua. It's all gone now. Powerplant says, tidiness shows how much you care, don't care. I mean, there are times when like you may falter a little bit, and then you readjust. Like maybe a day or two, you might have faltered. Like, okay, I've done it. But I mean, this is it was systemic. Like it's like you're like, oh my God. Like, and I'm sure Deb, you know exactly the place that I'm talking about, because there's not too many places to choose from in downtown Honolulu. But man, I was aghast. And so there's part of me that wants to release it as is, even with the message that, it's been 2.5 years. Perhaps things have changed. Because I think it's an authentic representation of what we experienced. But I don't know. I've struggled with this question for the last 2 years. Right? Foul, not fool. Okay, gotcha. See, I don't know. You never know. Foul as in offensive. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Amiel says, "Oh, Anton, I just read your recipe. I would like to try it, but man, it sounds challenging." Well, I think Anton likes the challenge. Like he's always like talking. I think Anton likes as technically difficult as possible. That's not an attack on you. That's not a rub. That's not a bad thing. I think that's good. But I can imagine it'd be like, we need to figure out this very precisely. Like you must only put 2.2 grams of water. If you put 2.3, it's too much. Kelly says the song He Ono is actually correctly called okole. Oh, really? They also call it sea anemones. They also call sea anemones okole for its resemblance to the anus. He Ono La. That's the one with the Siva. Siva's my Siva. Is that right? That the one that's like all like mashed. Anton says, on the machine does all the work for me. Oh, okay, good. Actually, he's got that high-tech machine that you just kind of program. The good thing is anything from shot length 44 to 68 seconds tastes good. Oh, interesting. You really have to put in effort to get into unpleasant over extraction with it. Interesting. We'll have to do some more of this extraction shots. Powerplant says, when I lived in China, I ate many meals with rats and cockroaches all around me. Never got sick. They also never washed the dishes, just exchanged plastic bags. Oh, yeah. I see that a lot. I see they do that a lot also in Mexico. You do that. They have these stacks of plates to put the plastic in the Philippines. It's fine. But I also wonder, how much of people's resistance to gastric distress is also due to their diet. Meaning that, if you're in a world where you'll eat in those conditions fairly regularly or somewhat regularly, in case there is some kind of whatever bacteria that's unfamiliar, or that whatever bacteria, it becomes part of your biosystem, right? And so you're fine. But if somebody that's not having that, for example, kids today in America seem to be a little bit more prone to illness, or not necessarily illness, and that sounds so serious, but they seem not as hardy with their foods, partially. And I wonder, when I was young, you're out playing in the dirt and you're eating dirt. You're almost literally eating dirt. Does that build up some kind of resistance, or not resistance, but just kind of acceptability within your system? Or perhaps as in America, we eat a lot of processed foods. How much of the processing, the chemical processes that they're adding to the foods, how much does that change the way that your body will react to other? I don't know. I don't have answers to that, but that's what I wonder about when we think about things like this, food allergies and stuff like that. Oh, Aniel's going to try the recipe. Excellent. We're going to see another video. Aniel, I'm curious. There's something I am curious about your videos. Your video, I watch woodworking videos a lot now, right? And so woodworking guys, they go very long. They're running, their run times are 18 plus minutes. And I'm like, God, these are long videos. I come from a world where we're trying to compress the video as much as possible, right? I want to try to, because But what I'm curious to know in your case is like, your video, like if you do one coffee, like the first time I watched your video, I was sitting there, I think I was smoking a cigar, I'm like drinking, I'm having a good time, I'm just watching your video, I'm like, and then after a while I realized, what time is it? I finished my cigar. It's been an hour. I was like, what is this? Are we making coffee? What's happening here? So I noticed that your videos, when you do one coffee, it's about half an hour on average, it seems like. But when you do two coffees, like the one that you did recently with the revisit to the mystery coffee, that was like just, it was hour 7. So I'm curious to know, like, how is the performance of these long form 30-minute to an hour long videos? Like, how is retention on those videos? I imagine that having those longer run times is actually, for your average view duration must be pretty good, and your total watch time must be really good. I mean, do you get complaints about the length? Like, I'm like, well, it makes me wonder, like, maybe I should be making longer videos, because sometimes I've released some pretty long videos, and I was surprised at how well they perform comparatively. I was like, huh. So I'm curious. I'm curious to know your thoughts on that. I'm curious to know, and your experiences on that. Powerplant says food allergies are a rampant issue in Western countries. Yeah, we have a lot of processing. And one of the things I think is problematic with Western countries, and perhaps because we're so dominated by capitalism, is that, food companies here aren't necessarily concerned about nutrition for the people. They're more concerned about how can we increase the amount of food people are eating. How can we sell them more product and create greater profitability? How do we make it taste more so they crave it more and they buy more and they eat more? And instead of eating 3 times a day, how do we get them to eat 4 times a day, 5 times a day, 6 times a day? So yeah, I think there's some serious issues, I think, with the food chain here in the United States, or at least in the United States. Peter says we need a good gut biome, microbiome. Always trying to get that. Anton's I'm just asking Anton if he doesn't. No, he's got something that's like, it's not unavailable in America. Like, it's only available for Germans, because they're like only Germans understand the technical details required to operate this machine. Right? I think it's called the Morrow. Is that right? Morrow. Oh, here it is. Morrow Model 1. Nice. Powerplant says comedians often joke about how many kids have peanut allergy. I mean, if kids had peanut allergies in especially in Uganda, they'd be dead. There'd be dead children everywhere. Like, they'd be just dropping dead, because you know what? They love the groundnut sauce. Love it. I love it. Like, I'm getting the matoke and the chapati, and I'll get the groundnut sauce, and the chicken, and just more of the groundnut sauce. Like, I'm just out of control. Like, do you want a Rolex? Yes, let me have a Rolex too. Rolex is the breakfast sandwich. It's kind of this roll. They call it Rolex because they roll it, I think. But imagine basically, like, it's kind of like their little, how there's a Mexican flauta, right? So kind of like breakfast flauta, but not fried. John Gonzalez is watching from Manila. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Anton says, I had to get the German machine. You have to get. I understand. I understand. Amiel says, I didn't know anything about analytics until I learned about it from you. Well, I don't really understand it. So you really don't want to learn from me. Like, I look at the AVD and I'm like, which is average view duration. How does that correlate? I don't know what that means. I look at sometimes with I've stopped looking at it, by the way. Like, sometimes if you're a YouTuber and like you get, there's all the YouTubers are all like, you got to pay attention to analytics. And you could pay attention to analytics, but then it makes you crazy, right? Because you're like, because whenever we release a video, they give you a ranking of 1 to 10 in terms of performance. And like, everybody wants it to be number 1 out of 10, but sometimes it's maybe 9 out of 10. You're like, And it's just like you get crazy looking at that stuff. And so it's like, you know what, or like, how many subscribers did you get? Like, we had a time when we were getting 60 subscribers a month, and then we dropped down to 38. I was like, oh God, failure. I was like, forget it. I'm quitting now. So, I mean, but I don't. So I try not to pay. But I'm just curious, like, if you've noticed, like, how people respond to like the longer form video. I'm just like, I try to let it flow as much as I can. Like, if the video feels like it wants to be long, then I'll leave it long. But if I do try to compress it, because I'm also one of those people that if I'm watching a video, if I'm looking at online, if I'm scrolling through YouTube, and I'm like, and I see a video that's like on the topic, like, let's say I'm looking for a topic, like, let's say Festool Domino, right? Like, I know that something that's in depth is at 1 minute 50 seconds is going to probably be too short to get into like the real detail that I want. But 45 minutes is also like, oh God, man, I don't want to sit there for 45 minutes. Maybe 7 minutes would be a great time, right? And that was always been my target with like a lot of the videos that I've released on this particular channel. So I try to keep it as tight as I could. Omnia says, I have no idea how that works. It's all right. It's like if you were speaking. I gotcha. Power Plant says, best coffee setup I have seen on YouTube is Take It Easy. Oh, gosh. He has a Brutus grinder, Londinium lever machine. Hey, this is a good, and again, so like Omniel said, like this is a whole other language. Brutus, Londinium, what? And a force temper. See, the force to me is like a lightsaber. It would be a lightsaber, right? No prep or faff. Oh, okay. Take It Easy. I will watch that. I'm saying, well, I probably won't. I don't watch coffee videos. I'm like, I'm really into the woodworking. I'm always watching woodworking videos, like trying to watch it, like, see, like, how do I do that? Amia says, I just do YouTube for fun. I have no idea. Okay, that's fair enough. I always like how you light your setup. And I was like, that looks really nice. I really like it. Kira says, your live chats would probably be considered long format. Whenever I try and watch until the end, learn so much. Yeah, I mean, when I started doing this, when we re-picked up this live stream over a year ago, after that 2-month hiatus, my intention with this really was to keep it to 15 to 20 minutes. Like, that's always been the intention. Like 15 minutes, fast, tight, easy, and like easy to consume, right? Like, but then I don't know. I talk too much. That's probably really what the problem is. I just talk too much, and so. But I think we get into some nice discussions with everyone. So that's been to me, that's been a really nice plus. Now it's been kind of like, I start to feel like, oh, maybe we need to cut things after an hour. It's like, okay, maybe an hour's. We should just. I feel like people want to go back to their lives after about an hour. Right? Anton says that I think analytics only lead to pain and the path to the dark side. I agree. Do you believe in platonic ideals for food? I'm not quite sure. Ideals for food. I mean, I do have idealistic wishes for food. Like, I would like to be. I feel like I always want to be better in my sourcing, but sometimes it falls off. Like, for example, like there was a time when I was super hardcore, and I was hardcore on everyone that I knew, like my family, my friends. Like one Thanksgiving, my brother lived in California. This is like back in 2008. They would have our friends in California over, and I was like, okay, we're all gonna. And they were like, let's all make something different we'll all share in the making. I was like, okay, and I was like, you must buy it a certain way. You cannot go to the grocery store and buy like the rubbish from like Smithfield or whatever. You must go get well-sourced quality product. Right? Again, like we've talked about in the past, when you're new to something, you get really like dogmatic. But after you've been in the field for a while, that dogma kind of goes away, or it just evolves to a different intensity. So I still am quite selective about what I buy and where I'd like to buy it from. But if I can't get it, then I can't get it. I like finding the right source for steak and have great sourcing for it. Sometimes I will just go buy it at the grocery store, because you know what? If I go at the right time to the grocery store, that ribeye steak is $3 because it's about to expire and they've marked it down significantly, and I can just take it home and grill it and be happy with it. So it's not as great as the inch and a half cut that I get from the butcher that has gotten the the right kind of cow that's been pastured and grain finished and all that. It doesn't have that flavor. It doesn't have that it doesn't have the aging on it, right? So it doesn't have all of that. But sometimes I'm okay. Like my cousin was like, "What do you want?" Like she was like, "Let's go out to eat. Where do you want to go?" And I was like, "I don't." Like Sue even asked me that. She's like, "What do you want to eat?" I was like, "I don't know. I haven't paid it." There was a time when I was paid such close attention to cuisine and food, sir, and where to go eat. Right now, I'm just in this phase of life where I'm just like, I don't know, I don't care. I'm just barely eating, and I gotta go back and cut some more wood. It's really. John says, I love your videos about you looking at a crazy espresso machines and grinders. Oh, those are great videos, aren't they? We need to do more. We need to get more people to send me videos so that I can go look at them. Oh yeah, and the one you're talking about, I think, is the one we did at Greg's house. Oh, he's since moved, and I think his setup has increased even more. Anton says the real magic lies with keeping people's attention and still going into great detail. Some people can do it, but it's hard. It can be hard. It is hard. It is hard. One thing that makes it a little bit easier, perhaps maybe makes it a little bit easier, is that I think that I know a good amount about coffee, but I think that I would like to also. I'm not going to say that I am, but I would like to be the kind of person that is willing to recognize and appreciate when I don't know enough about coffee. I hope that I'm that. And I'll be honest, I've got an ego like most people, right? So there have been moments when people would talk about things, and I felt like, oh, I didn't know that. Should I be? And I think to myself, should I be defensive about it? But no, you should. I was after a month. No, you should be defensive. This is how you learn too. So it's not. And I just remember that even though I've been in the field for over 20 years, I'm not. And considered by people to be an expert, I can't know everything. Right? I can't know it. And that's always been kind of a foundational thing for my philosophy since the 90s, when I was involved with hula. And hula is of course the Hawaiian dance. And Keone will know the saying. And I don't know the saying in Hawaiian. But basically it translates into this notion or this belief that not all knowledge resides in one halau. And halau means house, right? So not all knowledge resides in one house. When I first heard that, in 1991 or something like that, it's always stayed. It's always I thought that was so poignant to remember that no matter how much we know, we can never know everything. And we can never fall into one belief, meaning that I've had some wonderful mentors over the years who have instructed me in many different things. I've had mentors in hula and mentors in paintball when I was involved in that, who passed away last year. In coffee, of course. People that have, helped to guide and nurture my vision and understanding of each of these disciplines. But they're only one person. They're only one house. And they can't know everything. So I always try to remain open to other ways of thinking and other people's messages, because you never know. And that's one thing that I think that is a trouble in our human condition, is that we tend to fall into camp. We believe in one. We've somehow come to believe that this camp is right. Unfortunately, in the United States in modern times, this is very much apparent. They fall into this camp and they think that that's the only way, that there can be no other alternatives. There can be nothing offered by any other source. But I've tried to keep this idea of not all knowledge resides in one house. And, and as being an egotistical human, like I struggle with that. Like I have struggled, like, you can't do everything, but you feel like you want to know everything. You feel like you want to be loved by everyone, that you know everything, that you can offer nothing wrong, right? But you will, and so I guess I don't know. I'm just babbling. See, this is why we last more than an hour nowadays, right? So, Anton says it also depends. What is your target audience doing on a night shift? I can easily digest a full OnoMedia. And as long as I have a big cigar, I'm fine. Peter says, wait, everyone has a YouTube channel. I mean, I think if you, yes, everyone has a YouTube channel, right? If you have your account, then you could upload videos and make your own stuff. But if you want to see some nice videos, I mean, OnoMedia makes some really great videos. Like I definitely think his channel is worth investigating and seeing if you groove with it. I mean, he's got beautifully shot videos. And a really wonderful setup that he sets up. And, he's like, for me, if I was making videos, like making coffee, it'd be kind of like fast. Like, I'd be like, we're going to do 21 grams and, and blah, 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 blah. And then here we are. Here's a full of shots done. Okay. Thank you. Let's taste it. Okay. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great one. Please subscribe and click the bell and all that kind of stuff. Right. And I try to have it done within 5 minutes. Now with OnoMedia, you go to his video and he's got the Leylit Bianca with all this, and it's got all set up, and it's like beautiful. I mean, it takes you through the process, like every step of the way. Like we're gonna grind this coffee, and then we're gonna we're gonna braid the coffee, we're gonna put it in the grinder, we're gonna take it out of the grinder, we're gonna reweigh it. Did we lose anything? What kind of retention is happening in the grinder? Like he really takes you step by step through the process, so you really get a thorough understanding of what he's doing. So, yeah, it's kind of nice. Anton says, I'm a big eater. Oh, because it must get indigestion. And if it's information, I devour every. Oh, nice. Dev says that Peter, yes, having a YouTube equates to having account use. Yeah, exactly. So you could. That's why when you're asking the other week about doing a live stream at work, I said just do it here on YouTube. And if your account status is such that they don't really allow you to do a live stream, then you can live stream to YouTube through the free version of StreamYard. That's why I was saying that last time. So you could do it that way. And I do think that, and it's not that like, OnoMedia or I am like really doing this for the money, because I certainly am not. And I'm certainly, especially after 4 years, there's no money coming. There's very little money. There's very little. Actually, this channel, this is the channel, right? So this is the only channel that has monetization. And this particular channel has, in total, over the years that I've had it, has made, I think it has only made maybe $700. Is that right? 700, maybe 600. There's a point when you qualify for YouTube monetization that you can set it up, and so I've set it up, and then but you also have to put in your bank information so that they will transmit the money to you. The first month of monetization, I think this channel made maybe, I don't know, $2.16. Now I was wildly ecstatic that it made $2. Like, $2, the happiest $2 of my life, right? But I was like, okay, so if I say yes to and give them my account information, they'll put $2 in there every month. And it's like, well, what is $2? And honestly, and now I know this may sound really bad, but what is $2 going to do for me in my bank account every month, right? Like at $2. Like I won't even notice. I won't even notice it, right? So I never sent them my bank information, and they're just stockpiling my money. right? And I figured, let me wait till a point where I'll have a sum of money that when they send it to me, I could actually use it to maybe do something with it, right? So I figured I kind of set that to be $1,000. And so we're still on the march for that. So this channel was monetized over 2.5 years ago. I think it was August 2022. And in that time, this channel has generated through AdSense less than 1,000. It's still less than that. And I think it's like 800. Maybe it's 800 by now. I don't really look again, so I don't know what to get though, but we'll see. We'll see. So it's not, but you can start your own channel, and it's a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of fun. PowerPlan says, do you chase the dragon with some things, meaning you try something once and all of the subsequent attempts are trying to emulate that amazing? I try not to be like that, right? Like for example, if I remember how last week we did the espresso and I had that one ristretto that I thought was really great, like one of the best I've ever made. The ones after that were not as good. So I try not to be caught up in that. I need to recreate that. Like, I don't want to be a crackhead just trying to get that high again, right? Like I try to temper that. Omnio says, if you consumed an entire video of mine, you'd have to be a biggie. Oh, here, Keone finally wrote down, this is the actual saying. It's ohe pau ka ike. Obviously, it's been a while since I've said so, and I'm going to be like stuttering the way through it. So, ohe pau ka ike ka ike ika halau ho'okahi. Hope I said that correctly. Ohe pau ka ike ka ike ika halau ho'okahi. There you go. I hope that's correct. PowerPoint says the 10,000. Thank you, Keone. The 10,000 hours to mastery is only applicable if you're open to novel techniques. Ah, that's true. That's true. Omnio says you have to make a lot of time to wait. make sure you make a lot of time to wait. It is a lot. It does take a long time. Like I like the edit. For me, it's the editing part. Someone asked me recently, like offline, they were like, "Well, what's the hardest part for you?" I said, "Well, it's the editing." And not that editing is necessarily technically that difficult, but the way that I've shot a lot of videos makes it more difficult. Meaning that when we do these, and like we do these coffee shop videos where I go to different places and visit them, I don't necessarily have a plan too much. Like if you script out and visualize your shots, like we would do in a motion picture, right? You could approach each day fairly regularly and knowing exactly what you do. So when you actually assemble the finished movie, it's relatively easy. But if you go in there and you shoot gonzo style like I do, like I'll just shoot what happens, and hopefully, and then it becomes a question of we've got all this footage, or maybe not enough. Typically, it's not enough, right? Like, how do you craft a narrative out of what disparate and insufficient material that you have? And sometimes it's insufficient. There's many times I've sat in front of the computer thinking, why didn't I shoot more B-roll? I need more B-roll. I need to go out and shoot more B-roll, which is basically just like cutaway shots of whatever to help move the narrative along. Because if you just have someone talking all the time on camera, kind of static, it's boring. You want to illustrate their points, right, with cutaways to different things. And so to me that's the most difficult part, and it just takes the longest time because you're trying to craft a narrative out of it. Like the one that I'm trying to release now, or been trying to release for the last 2 months, has taken like probably 4 months to do because I can't really find. I'm having difficulty with the narrative. Like I've restarted that video like 3 times already. Peter said, I'm just uploading privately, so I'm using it as a storage bank for my own. I mean, that's perfectly fine, man. And the nice thing about the YouTube is that if you do decide that, hey, I'm gonna release one just so that people can see. Maybe you want to share maybe you want to share a video with everyone in here, right? You can set it up as unlisted, set the setting to unlisted and just share the link, and then no one else will be able to find it. Now, you could do that with the private, but I find that every time I try to share a private video, for whatever reason, no one can see it. So I always just make it unlisted, and then, like, even on this channel, there's a couple other videos that are out there that I made because like the guys in the woodworking forum, I'm asking them questions like, I can't figure this out. So there's actually like woodworking videos on this channel that's like just for them. It's like, yeah, I'm mucking things up here. Like, yeah, your technique is poor. It's like, yeah, my technique is poor. Technique is poor. Dev says, from a production perspective, OnoMedia makes amazing videos. I totally agree. Totally agree. Everything from video quality, lighting, and audio. Keep it up. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, Peter says, unscribing here to go. Well, fine, man. Fine. I haven't subscribed. So you're one of those people. What is it? You see those YouTubers on their videos, like, what do they say? They say something like, did you know that 86% of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed? Please don't be one of those, right? I try never to do too much of that. Like, I don't really ask. Like, I used to ask people to subscribe, and then I got away from that because I was like, if people like your video, they'll subscribe because they like it. But then I was wondering, recently I have thrown those into a couple other videos I've done, where it's like, hey, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Like I have been doing another series of videos that's not coffee related. And to that point, like I was saying about the editing part, right? Like in those videos, it's very short, it's very to the point. And I do it and I shoot it in a way that's very linear. So it's relatively easy to assemble and cut out all the detritus and release it. So it just depends on how you plan out your videos and shoot them to how difficult it is to actually finish and release them. Mackie, good morning to you. How are you doing? OnoMedia says that you're a travel stuff. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But it just takes so long. And I still have so much. Like if I could find a way to actually edit and release on a weekly basis, I could stay at home, I think until the end of 2025 and release videos weekly and never miss a week. And it would be all coffee travel videos. I've really shot a lot. Like I don't know what to do with it. Kent says weekdays with Jay, Sundays with OnoMedia. Excellent. So glad. All right, so we finished the tea, and it's 90 minutes. So we should go. I should go do my thing. Peter says, I'm going to live stream my work on Instagram and post some. Excellent. Post some videos. I want to see them. Yeah, let us. If you release them and you feel up to it, and you'd like to share with us, let us know. I'm sure everyone would love to see your work and to see what you're doing. And we won't subscribe to your channel either. So. All right. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. Always good to see you. It's great to see you after the weekend. Hope your weekend was a great one. Mine was nice. I had dim sum, so it was a fantastic weekend. But back again tomorrow. Tomorrow we might be doing a road show because I think under two scenarios I think I have to travel. Maybe one to Pennsylvania, the other one down to Bethesda. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So Dev, Peter, that geek, I know you just joined us. Sorry. Hope you have a great one. See you guys all next time.